Come closer and listen. We're about to tell a story from a long-lost age of myth. It's a tale about the Allfather, Odin, and the staggering price he was willing to pay, not for power, but for something he craved so much more: wisdom.
You see, in the Norse world, knowledge wasn't just some nice-to-have thing. It was the ultimate force. It was power. It could shape a person's destiny, it could win wars before a single sword was drawn, and it could unlock the deepest secrets of the cosmos. For the gods of Asgard, and especially for their king, it was a treasure worth any price imaginable.
So our story really begins with Odin. But I don't want you to picture some king just sitting on his throne, bored. No, no. Picture a wanderer, a seeker, who never ever stopped. A being defined not by the crown on his head, but by this bottomless hunger to know everything. And this is where it gets really interesting. Most of us, when we think of Odin, we picture the god of war, right? Leading fallen warriors into that final epic battle. But that was just one side of him. His true essence, the fire that really drove him, was the hunt for secrets. He was a master of magic, of poetry, and of strategy, long before he was a general on the battlefield.
I mean, his whole existence was basically built to gather intelligence. Every single morning, he'd send out his two ravens, Hugin and Munin, that's thought and memory, to soar across all 9 worlds and report back every single thing they saw. He had his high throne, Hlidskjalf, where he could literally see anything that was happening, anywhere. And still, with all of that, it wasn't enough. Odin knew there were deeper truths just beyond his grasp. He knew, deep down, that to get true cosmic insight, to understand not just what is, but what was and what will be, he had to make a journey to the very roots of the world tree Yggdrasil and face its ancient keeper. And he knew a terrible price would be asked of him.
And so he went. Down, down past the world of mortals, to the very foundation of existence. And there, he stood before the ancient guardian, Mimir, who protected a well that held the secrets of time itself. Odin asked for just one drink, but Mimir, well, he knew the value of his secrets. He demanded a price in return, one of Odin's eyes. And without a moment's hesitation, Odin made the trade, giving up a piece of himself for one single glimpse into eternity. Now, this wasn't just some magic spring. The Mimizabronar, the well of Mimir, it held the memory of the cosmos itself. To drink from that water was to finally understand the great, tangled web of fate, to see all the threads that connected gods, giants, and mortals. And for Odin, who could already feel the coming of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, that knowledge was worth far more than his physical sight.
But here's the thing. Seeing fate, it wasn't enough. Now Odin knew what was coming, but he didn't have the power to change it, to influence it. To get that deep magic that's woven into the fabric of creation, he knew he had to face an ordeal that would make losing an eye look like a walk in the park. He had to sacrifice not just a part of himself, but his entire being.
For 9 days, and for 9 long nights, the Allfather, the king of Asgard, put himself through an agony that would break any mortal and terrify any god. First, he took his own spear, Gungnir, the spear that never missed its target, and he turned it upon himself, piercing his own side, an offering of his own divine blood to the cosmos. Then, he hung himself from a great windswept branch of Yggdrasil, just swaying there, suspended between the worlds, caught between life and death. For 9 days, he took no food, he drank no water. And this is the heart of it all. This wasn't a sacrifice to some other power. This was an offering from a god to himself, to his own higher purpose. He was pushing his consciousness to the absolute breaking point, trying to shatter the boundaries of his own perception to see what lay beyond. He hung there for 9 nights, right on the razor's edge of death and madness. And then, at the very last moment, as his sight began to fail him, the universe finally answered his call. So you have to ask yourself, what kind of knowledge could possibly be worth that? What secret is so profound that a god would nearly destroy himself just to learn it? In that state of ultimate suffering, he finally saw them, the runes. And these weren't just letters in an alphabet.
No, they were the primal symbols of existence itself, the fundamental forces that shaped reality. It was like he was seeing the source code of the universe, and by understanding them, Odin didn't just see fate anymore. He had the power to shape it.
So all of this, these two incredible acts of self-sacrifice, they really get us to the very heart of the Norse worldview. It tells us pretty much everything we need to know about what these people truly valued. So here's the real takeaway. For Odin, and for the people who told his stories, true power wasn't about muscle or brute force. It was about intellect. It was about strategy. It was about understanding. The greatest king wasn't the strongest one. He was the wisest one. And real wisdom, well, it always, always comes with a price.
Odin's story is a sweeping, epic myth, of course, but it leaves all of us with a question that's actually deeply personal. It forces us to look at our own lives and ask, what do we value most? What price would we be willing to pay, not for fame, not for wealth, but for true, genuine understanding?